Hello and welcome back to the channel. On the 7th of June, Mars will move into the sign of Leo after spending quite a bit of time between Gemini and Cancer the past 8 or 9 months. So especially when Mars has been in the sign of Cancer, where it is debilitated, people may have felt a little bit fatigued, a little bit confused, and there may have been some difficulty doing things that Mars naturally signifies, and the things that Mars rules in all your respective charts. So now, when Mars transits into the sign of Leo, it is a far better sign. Leo is a fiery sign, and Mars feels very comfortable here, where it can bring back a little bit of that sense of purpose, energy, and drive. Now, the key thing happening with this Mars transit is that it will be conjunct with Ketu. Mars and Ketu conjunction in transit is not that malefic, which people sometimes make out to be, as long as you can work with the energy. If this conjunction is happening in a natal chart, then it is much more malefic because it is permanent, whereas in transit, it is not too much of a big deal. The main thing that is associated with Ketu is the past. So with this Mars transit and conjunction with Ketu, you'll need to revisit or reopen things related to the past. So you'll be using your energy and effort to sort out and manage anything that you have left unfinished and anything left sitting in the background that hasn't really been at the top of your list of priorities. But now it will become a priority for you during the next few weeks. So this can be related to the house Mars is transiting or the houses which Mars is ruling in your chart. So for example, if this transit is happening in your 11th house, there can be people from the past who may reappear and you will communicate or network with them. So this can be like an old friend. It could be that money that may have been owed to you can finally come your way. So there can be positive results here as well. Now, if Mars is ruling your 7th house, then there can be a past person who you may have had a relationship with. So they may reappear out of the blue, unexpectedly, all of a sudden. There can be a surprising emergence. So this is not about getting back together, but more about resolving any unfinished business or getting that closure. With the 7th house, there can also be contractual issues or property related issues from the past which can come to the forefront. If this transit is happening in your 8th house, there can be a sudden transformation or a health challenge can also pop up again. If Mars is ruling your 8th house, then it could be tax related issues where the taxman comes knocking at your door, letting you know that you haven't paid enough tax and you owe more money. If this is happening in the 6th house, there could be things in your daily routine that you need to redo. And this can include work-related tasks or even possibly finding better ways to manage your well-being. Now, Mars and Ketu can also show a period where you'll be reflecting on your past actions, where there can be a sense of regret. So if you do feel like this, you have to learn to accept that and learn to accept that you made a mistake. So a feeling of self-realization where you could feel a sense of guilt, regret, and shame. So definitely for everyone, there will be something big or small from the past that you will need to respond to or that will need your attention. Now, another thing that Ketu is associated with is about showing compassion. So in your actions, whatever actions you undertake in the next 6 weeks or so, you have to show thoughtfulness rather than just thinking about yourself. So Mars, it is a selfish energy. So Mars is always about looking after their own best interests. So with this transit and conjunction, you have to try and liberate yourself from any ego-driven pursuits. That is the biggest thing that you have to keep in mind here with this transit for the next 6 weeks. Your awareness of how your actions impact those around you is basically what you need to keep in mind. And for some of you, this may happen naturally, which will give you a sense of realization and lead to self-growth, which is positive. But for others, if you are just focused firmly on yourself, then this transit can cause some anger and aggression to build up because things may not go as per your ideals, and you can end up losing your temper and showing aggression, overreacting and lashing out. So that is the negative thing about this Ketu and Mars conjunction together, especially in a fiery sign. And the final thing here is to remember that because Rahu is directly opposite Mars and Ketu, so some of you will feel like you're being pulled into different directions. So Rahu is your karmic destiny, while Mars is your individual desire. So there can be conflicting desires, which can lead to you feeling overwhelmed and confused. Rahu is in a humanitarian sign of Aquarius. So again, with this transit, you have to focus on actions that are done collectively with others and for other people, rather than just for your own self. So this transit will be happening in different houses for everyone. So you have to look at the house Mars and Ketu are transiting, and that is the area of life where you will have to reflect and sacrifice a little bit of your energy and actions. And there can be things related to the past that pop up. So this is also a time to identify and release any aggression and any self-centered behavior. So I hope that all makes sense. So this is just a short video because this is a short transit of 6 to 7 weeks. So you just have to remain calm. So you have to remember to remain calm, and anything from the past which does come your way, you have to acknowledge it and accept it, because that is what K2 wants you to do. And I will see you next time. Thank you.